Hello students, today we are going to discuss an important topic, that is IUGR. It is also called as intrauterine growth retardation or intrauterine growth restriction. First, let us see the three phases of fetal growth. First is the stage of hyperplasia, in which there is increase in the cell number, cellular hyperplasia. It lasts up to 16 weeks. Then is the stage of hyperplasia and hypertrophy. It lasts up to 32 weeks. And here there is increase in the cell number as well as the cell size. Third is the stage of cellular hypertrophy. So in this there is increase in the cell size. This is seen 32 weeks onwards. So what happens here, that there is more of the fat and glycogen accumulation is seen during 32 weeks onward. That is 8th and 9th month that the baby gains the maximum weight. So first is only hyperplasia, then hyperplasia and hypertrophy, and last is hypertrophy, only increase in the size of the cells. Now what are the factors which are responsible for the fetal growth? In general, one is there are many hormonal effects, for example insulin and insulin like growth factor 1. It plays a very important role in the distribution of fat and the fetal weight. Then hormones like adipokinase and leptins, they also play an important role, and the supply of nutrients to the fetus in the form of glucose, amino acids and oxygen, which is needed for the growth of the fetus. These are important factors which are responsible for what will be the growth and how will be the growth of the fetus. Now fetus weight, if we talk about that fetal weight at a particular gestation age. So just see this graph. This is a graph which we see for any kind of a thing. You talk about your marks, you talk about your height, you talk about your weight, anything. So there is a range. Any normal thing lies in this range of between 10 to 90. There is a range for everything. Anything which is less than 10 certain percentile for that particular graph, that is low. And anything which is more than 90 of that particular graph is high. So let us talk about the weight. If the weight of the fetus at a particular gestation age, it does not lie at this. Suppose if I say, I am just giving an example, suppose I am taking 34 weeks. 34 weeks, if I give you a range of 2 to 2.5, 2 to 2.4 kg, if I am giving you a rough, this is not a whatsoever has been designed at this particular gestation age. I am just trying to cite you an example. Say suppose at 34 weeks, this is the range for which comes from 10 to 90 centiles. Children will have this weight. If suppose a baby is born with a weight of say 1.9 kg. So the baby will have a weight which falls under less than 10 certile, less than 2 kgs. So less than certile, so that baby will small for that gestation age. Similarly, if a baby born at 34 kgs weight 2.6 kg. So 2.6 kg is more than this range. It is going outside this graph, more than 90 centiles. So in that condition, that baby will large for that gestation age. So when we take gestation age into consideration, we have got three terms. Small for gestation age, appropriate for the gestation age, and low for the gestation age. If the weight of the baby lies between 10 to 90 percentile for the gestation age, it is appropriate for the gestation age. If it is more than 90, large for gestation age. If it is less than 10, it is small for gestation age. Now there is another term which have been defined by WHO as low birth weight, very low birth weight and extremely low birth weight. Now here we are not taking into account the gestation age. Earlier we are taking into account the gestation age when we were saying SGA, AGA and LGA. Here it is simply, if we come to know that baby is born and the weight is less than 2.5, we call it as a low birth weight baby. If the weight is less than 1.5 kg, we call it as a very low birth weight. If it is less than 1 kg, we call it as extremely low birth weight baby. Now, so if the concept is clear, you can easily say a preterm baby may be low birth weight baby, because suppose preterm baby is born at 31 weeks and the baby is weighing 1.8 kg. So for 1.8 kg is definitely a low birth weight baby. But it may be appropriate for the gestation age, that at 31 weeks, if I see that range, it may be following into that. So Preterm baby may be a low birth weight, but it can be appropriate for gestation age if it is not a growth restricted baby. Now, talking about SGA. SGA is small for gestation age, means the baby is smaller as compared to it should be at that particular gestation age. जैसे सपोज एक 10 साल का बच्चा है, उसकी हाइट एक पर्टिकुलर होनी चाहिए, बट वो हाइट उतनी नहीं है. क्यों नहीं है? देयर कैन बी टू रीजंस. वन, उसका जेनेटिक मेकअप ऐसा है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली वो उतना है, या फिर उसको न्यूट्रिशन नहीं मिल रहा, और एनी अदर फैक्टर, देयर इज सम प्रॉब्लम. तो सिमिलरली इंट्रा यूट्राइन, इनसाइड द यूट्रस ऑल्सो, द बेबी, इफ बेबी इज नॉट गेटिंग अप, दैट बेबीज वेट इज नॉट दैट मच वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग, द बेबी कैन बी अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली स्मॉल बेबी, मीन्स द बेबी इज नॉर्मल. उसकी मदर, बेबी की मदर का वेट 40 kg टाइप की है, छोटी हाइट है, स्लिम बिल्ड, स्लिम है, लो BMI है, तो वो उसका जेनेटिक मेकअप है. बेबी बॉर्न विल बी ऑफ और मे बी ऑफ अ स्मॉल लेसर वेट, तो वो नॉर्मल बेबी है, वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली स्मॉल है, उसको कोई पैथोलॉजी नहीं है. सो 70% बेबीज वो होते हैं स्मॉल फॉर जेस्टेशन एज में, बट 30% बेबीज हैव गॉट सम प्रॉब्लम. Therefore, they show that there is some growth retardation, growth restriction. So 30% babies are IUGR and 70% are normal because they are constitutionally small. Now, type of IUGRs. Now, IUGR can be a growth restricted child, can be a preterm delivery, it can be a term delivery, it can be a post-term delivery also. Now, talking about the two types of IUGR. One is symmetrical IUGR, one is asymmetrical IUGR. Symmetrical IUGR constitutes 20% of all the IUGR cases, whereas asymmetrical IUGR constitutes 80%. It has got a better prognosis of the two. The better one is with asymmetrical and a poorer prognosis with symmetrical IUGR. Here, the insult to the baby, insult why the baby is IUGR, it is early in the pregnancy, early gestation age. In asymmetrical, it is in the later half. So, as we know, in the fetal growth, what we have seen that early is the phase of hyperplasia. So, here the number of the cells will be affected. It is in the later half. So, this is a stage of hypertrophy. Here the size will be affected. The causes of symmetrical IUG are intrinsic to the fetus. Intrinsic means either the baby is having some structural defect, there can be some cardiovascular abnormality, there can be some renal abnormality, there can be some bony defect, there can be some meningeal defects. So there is defect with the gross anatomy of the baby. So baby may have symptoms, sign and features of symmetrical IUGR. There can be some chromosomal defect in the form of trisomies, trisomy 18, 13, Patau's, Edwards, Downs, aneuploidies. So the baby may show you features of symmetrical IUGR. Or there can be congenital infections in the form of torch and malaria. So the baby was congenitally, these infections were transmitted to the baby because the mother was affected with these kind of infection during early pregnancy. As compared to asymmetrical IUGR, here the factors are extrinsic to the fetus. Means there is some problem with either mother or placenta which is not providing proper nutrition. So the uteroplacental blood flow is compromised. Baby is not able to get proper nutrition. There is less of oxygen, less of nutrients, less of glucose, less of amino acids which are needed for the growth of the baby. So the factors are extrinsic to the fetus which are related to mother or the placenta. Now, as I already discussed earlier, that ratio, everything is symmetrical, everything will reduce, the size is reducing, everything will reduce in the same proportion. So all the ratios, head circumference to abdominal circumference, femur length to abdominal circumference, and one is this ponderal index. Ponderal index stands for the estimated fetal weight upon femur length, cube of it into 100. So if we say that fetal weight is reducing, so in that condition, it will reduce in the case of asymmetrical IUGRs, but it will remain normal in the case of symmetrical IUGR, because here we are not talking about any other parameter. Everything is reducing in the same form. So all the ratios will remain. अगर ये भी reduce हो रहा है, ये भी reduce हो रहा है, तो पूरा ratio normal रहेगा. But if suppose this is reducing and this remains normal, so in this case there will be fall in ponderal index. So this is what we see, that ponderal index, it reduces in a asymmetrical IUGR because of the reduction in the abdominal circumference, reduction in the fetal weight, and the femur length remains normal. So In this case, head circumference upon abdominal circumference. Whenever we are in a fasting state, whenever our body needs more of glucose, we take it from the stored glycogen and fat. And abdomen is the first place which comes into role. It starts giving the fat and glycogen which is stored. So abdominal circumference is the first which shows reduction. But head is a vital organ, brain is a vital organ. There is a brain sparing effect. So head circumference and otherwise blood flow to the brain, that is last to be affected. So head remains normal but abdomen is falling. So the ratio will increase. Similarly, femur length is not affected but abdominal circumference is falling. So the ratio will increase. Now causes of IUGR. What are the causes? First is the maternal causes. As I already told you, baby may be small for gestation. It can be constitutionally also. We should always keep into mind that maybe it is a lesser genetic makeup. So babies have reached maximum up according to the baby's genetic makeup. The baby has reached its maximum potential, but the maximum potential itself was less. So constitutionally, because of maternal factors or genetic factors, baby may be normal. So you should first rule out whether it is a constitutionally small baby or it is a IUGR baby. Then maternal nutrition. Definitely if the mother is not having a proper nutritious diet or there is less of storage of important nutrients, the baby will get less of glucose, amino acids, oxygen. Then maternal diseases. Maternal, maybe she is suffering from anemia, hypertension. Hypertension mother ko hoega, blood vessels will be in a constricted stage, less uteroplacental blood flow will be responsible for less transfer of nutrients. Mother is having some medical disorder in the form of heart disease, renal diseases. There can be any connective disorders or any thrombotic ailments. Then toxins or substance abuse, for example alcohol, smoking, cocaine, heroin or any drugs, they all play an important role in constriction of the blood vessels. So therefore there will be less transfer of nutrients to the baby. Now talking about the fetal causes, they are intrinsic and results mainly into symmetrical IUGR. As I told you, chromosomal anomaly, trisomy 13, 18, Turner's, structural defect, any CVS, renal, bony defects, infection, torch, toxoplasma, rubella, cytomegalo, herpes, syphilis, malaria, any kind of congenital infection can lead it to symmetrical IUGRs. Multiple pregnancies and independent factor. More fetuses are growing inside, they have to adjust, they need more space for expansion but they are not able to get, they need more of nutrition. So there is compensation and can lead to IUGR. Placental causes. Placenta previa means placenta is the location is on the lower side. It is not able to transfer more of nutrients. Abruptio, again there is separation of placenta. Then there is positioning of placenta and infarctions. So placenta is a vascular structure. It should be fully supplied with blood and nutrients which are transferred to the baby. And there are few unknown causes. Now how are we going to diagnose that the baby is IUGR? So whenever a female comes to us, if we find that on examination she is not able to gain good weight, though weight is a non-significant indicator. So कोई भी हम measurement करते हैं, that should be done in a serial fashion. यानी आज कर ली उसके बाद एक independent single value की कोई importance नहीं है. It should be repeatedly done. So maternal weight. So you look for is there any weight, but it is a non-significant indicator. Many a times there is not much of maternal weight gain, but baby is gaining the weight. So and if the patient is obese also, many a time we don't ask her to gain much of weight. So it is a non-significant indicator, but roughly it gives you an idea. Now we are examining the female. So when we examine, we look for the uterine fundal height. So as we all know that uterus becomes palpable after 12 to 14 weeks. So if this is the umbilicus, this is Ziffy sternum and this is pubic symphysis. So at 16 weeks, it is midway between the umbilicus and pubic symphysis, 16 weeks. At around 24 weeks, it is near to the umbilicus. Then we divide the upper quadrant into with two markings into three parts. From umbilicus to Ziffy sternum with two markings, we divide it into three parts. So first is 28 weeks, then 32 weeks, and at Ziffy sternum it becomes at the level of 36 weeks. Now there is no chances of expanding further, so it comes back down. So 32 and 40 it is at the same height, but there is expansion, there is fullness of the flanks laterally. So this is how we make the difference between 32 and 40. So first it goes down upward and then it descends backward. So we should see if the patient is coming to you at a gestation age about 30 weeks and we find that clinically हमें 24 यहीं तक fundal height मिल रहा है. So this means that you should look for IUGR. There is some problem. Why baby is not growing? Is the liquor is okay? Is the weight is okay? Baby is growing, baby is alive. So we just see if there is difference between the expected fundal height and what we are examining. Then we can also measure the symphysis fundal height. So after 24 weeks with the help of an inchy tape from pubic symphysis, we see the maximum we can feel the fundus up to the fundus. And after 24 weeks of gestation, it corresponds to the weeks. Suppose 30 weeks पर आई है तो 30 सेंटीमीटर है and अगर difference 3 to 4 सेंटीमीटर का भी आ रहा है तो that is quite significant. So you take it from symphysis pubis to maximum point, and if there is difference of about 3 to 4 centimeters which is expected, suppose 30 centimeters होनी चाहिए और हमारे को 26 मिल रही है, 25 मिल रही है, so look for IUGRs. और look के लाइकर तो नहीं escape हो गया, look के बेबी लाइव भी है कि नहीं है. Then abdominal girth, तो हम इसको राउंड मेजर करते हैं, abdomen circumference, abdominal girth. So again one measurement is not enough, serially measure करते हैं that it should increase after 30 weeks. There should be increase of the abdominal circumference girth by 2.5 centimeter per week. Now, so we ask the patient to get an ultrasound. Ultrasound is an important parameter which plays an important role during assessment of IUGRs. We look for the biometry. Biometry includes the biparietal diameter, femur length. We look for the femur length to abdominal circumferences. We look for the head circumference, and abdominal circumference is the single most sensitive parameter. If it is showing reduction, इसका मतलब हर parameter बराबर होने चाहिए. As I told you, we measure them and that length is converted into weeks. Suppose एक particular length आई, उसने बोला भी biparietal diameter 30 weeks है, head circumference भी 30 weeks के correspond कर रहा है, पर abdominal circumference is corresponding up to 26 weeks. Means abdominal circumference compensate कर रहा है. Why? Then it is showing that it is IUGR. तब हम लाइकर भी देखते हैं. AFI is amniotic fluid index. लाइकर जो baby which is surrounding the baby, is it less, is it normal? We look for the weight. What should be the weight at that particular gestation age? We look for the Doppler. Color Doppler is a ultrasound in which we add on blood. We add color, means we see what is the blood flow through the various vessels. So color Doppler भी affect होएगा इसके अंदर. The details of color Doppler, if needed, I will share in the next video. And when the baby is born, we see the baby has got less weight, length normal होएगी, head will be more enlarged हमें लगेगा उसका, because the abdomen part is scaphoid, that is shrunken, that is flat kind of abdomen. There is less fat in the abdominal area, and the skin, because fat is less, it will be an old man look. It will be a dry, wrinkled skin of the baby. But neurologically, baby is active. It has got normal reflexes and a normal cry. So this was in brief of IUGR, the clinical diagnosis. Later, how are we going to do the surveillance and management, I'll be covering in the next video. Till then, take care, be safe. Thank you.